there for a reason, to remind me how much I need to remind me of my own mortality. That's what they're there for. Do you mind sleeping, Ben?
Yeah, I just gotta...
Need me the log?
In a minute.
Yeah, once Ben gets in his bed.
Find it again.
You know how many points I had in GameStop?
A handful.
16,000.
That's a good pocket full.
Yeah.
Can you get for 16,000?
I'm getting $20 off a pre-owned game. So tomorrow I'm going to
Now,
go
how many
buy
games have you
what
bought?
according to their site is $21. So
Now, how many games have you bought
recently?
from them to get that many?
Oh. A lot. It is not proportional. Well, you get a certain number of points every time. I can't. You
Is it
get you get points per every dollar. I think you get something like 1,000 points for every dollar you spend or something.
You have,
I've spent.
Is it dead?
Yes, I spent a lot of money at GameStop. Let's put it that way.
Huh.
Yeah. In
I
addition,
do everything
like,
through
Over the
Steam.
years.
$15 a year. for
What?
the-
Yeah, $15.
So you save $20 on...
Well,
Well, you-
it's not just that, because you save every time you buy a pre-owned game. You save like $5 or $6 at least every time you buy a pre-owned game, and I buy enough pre-owned games for it to justify having a card. You know what I mean?
You don't get to put 2,500 hours into one game by playing a lot of games.
I play a lot of games. That's especially considering I have a PS3.
Is a game
I am a console nerd. I am a console.
You're a console gamer. You're a console.
Yeah, I'm a console. I was trying to think of the derogatory term used for console gamers, but I couldn't think of it for the moment.
Hot
So I
potato.
might be being pressured into buying an Xbox One soon.
By
I have
who?
no desire to buy like the next gen for the time being, at least.
They're-
They're just
they're-
too expensive.
They're too expensive
Yeah.
and they're just not good. Like the number of problems that we've experienced with our Xbox One. Like, I'm glad Andy bought it. Honestly, like I don't want it.
Don't...
And I just don't have the money. Now it's going to college.
Yeah, that's the part.
Now it's going to college and having rent next year and having a really shit job at the moment.
You still
I
working
just-
on campus?
Yeah. But you have to realize, I'm getting 3 hours a week at the moment.
Yeah, that's kind of shit.
What do you do on your campus?
I work in dining services. But I
Okay.
work in,
Don't you have an IT
concessions.
department that you can work for?
I do, but they only hire every so often.
Oh. See, I just applied for mine recently, but they got some other bitch. Motherfuckers. That was a $12 an hour job.
Jesus, ours doesn't pay that well. Ours pays, I think,
Well,
$7.25.
Ours, it maintains Canvas, which is like
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah,
So-
I know what Canvas is. We've switched everything to Canvas. Yeah,
Ah.
I think.
Blackboard. So
Well, you can either work at. We have both
Well,
IT,
we have-
and we also have like the computing, like the place that helps people with computer problems for free. Or whatever
yeah.
on campus.
we have one of those too. We call it an RTA.
That's where my brother works at his school,
What school does he go to?
Ohio State. Is it Ohio State? Like, okay.
They have an awesome marching band.
I feel really bad about this, but like, my brother,
I didn't
like,
know you had a brother.
Henry or
yeah,
okay.
How many siblings do you have?
He has one
two
brother.
sisters and a brother.
Like they just keep coming in. Like every year, I learn of a new sibling that you have.
Well, he has
I
one
mean,
that's
that's about how long it takes to make one.
Your parents just keep popping them out.
Yeah, but like fully grown. Um, let's.
Well, I
put
mean,
that
other than
image
the one
away.
that you adopted.
Yeah, like there's Hector who is informally adopted. That sounds like we kidnapped him. Like that sounds really bad. Like when in reality it wasn't like that. It was like he was good friends with my brother.
troubled kid.
Yeah, and like he had a lot of
Still
problems with
kind of
home
trouble.
life, and so at some point he just sort of moved in. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but oh well. But yeah, no. My brother, he's like 25, 24 or 25. But it's really bad because when he was when he got out of the military, there were a couple of schools he was talking about going to, and because of his wife flip-flopping around a bunch of times about what school she wanted to go to, and wanting him to go to the same school, like they were gonna still live in the same area either way, but I can't quite remember what school he goes to.
What is he studying?
Computer science.
Smart man.
I'm not sure if I'm going to stay with computer science. I still haven't decided yet. I think I told Jacob about this, didn't I?
No, you told me.
Yeah, you mentioned it once or twice.
Okay.
Briefly, but...
Anyways, continue.
But yeah, he that's what he does there. He is pretty much tech support.
Huh. That's what I'm applying for. I was too late. I was so focused on the Canvas job that I totally was not... I thought I had it in the bag because I had made it down to the last 5 people for the interview out of 20 whatever that applied. Through this second interview, and so I was like, oh, I got this in the bag. There are 2 spots, and nope. So
Well,
then
not a bitch.
I went to go try to get the other job, and they're like, oh, we've already done the hiring for the semester. Try again next semester. So,
Oh, that sucks.
I once auditioned, I think it was for district band or something, and there were 2 spots that were open. There were 2 spots that were open, and 3 people auditioned. Guess who was the one that didn't get it?
Aw, you.
Yeah.
Man, that's some heartbreaking shit.
Yeah, it was.
There's
I think I ended up getting the bells still, but the only reason I got the bells was because 2 spots were open and only 2 people tried out.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, my mom, she called me at some point during the semester, and she's like, your sister was first chair in flute in the district or whatever.
it's actually really impressive.
What?
Well, I'm saying my sister did that too.
And I'm like, well, how many people got chairs? Just Kate.
But being... Wait, seriously? 1 flute in a district band?
Yeah.
My sister didn't have a lot of flautists with her, but
Like, there are other people who tried, but they didn't get chaired.
that's the thing. She had she was first chair, and then there was like a second and a third chair.
But still, getting first chair means you were the best out of those on audition, so...
Yes, she was.
The best out of those who got chaired.
No, the best of the ones who auditioned.
There are other people who auditioned who didn't get chaired, though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean...
That
It just means that they didn't, like... When you get first chair, it means you are the best person that auditioned. When you get second chair, and then after, like... normally after the first couple chairs, they just stop chairing people. You know what I mean? Because, congratulations, you're the 13th chair. How do you feel?
Hey. There's nothing wrong with being 13th in electronics and a national competition. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with being third.
Except unless you came first.
Oh, did you ever hear, Jacob, as to why
It's better than not going to nationals.
I didn't even compete, so...
Shut up. Okay.
Well, I guess Ben didn't.
Ben and I had the same teacher.
You don't understand, Jacob. I was allowed to go to nationals because the other kid didn't want to go. But Zava said no. He said he would not take me.
See, I didn't have electronics in high school, so
Because
congratulations.
we didn't see eye to eye on some things.
Dude, so I made the mistake of bringing up being like, I didn't even be like, yeah, I'm friends with Ben. I was like, I know of a man named Ben Burns. And Mrs. Zava goes, Ben, He is the biggest dummy I have ever seen.
Ooh.
The
He
extent
says
of
that about a lot of people, though.
the extent of the technology in my high school was the FFA.
The only reason we have
So-
electronics is because of Zava.
Can't believe they have a fucking 3D printer now.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you.
They
I was
have a
talking to
fucking
Zava
3D
on
printer?
the phone. I was talking to Zava on the phone, and I said, "Hey, I might want to come by and talk to the people in the class and say, hey, computer science is an option for you." And he was like, "Oh
Apparently
yeah,
that
okay."
fucker who visited.
Huh?
No.
Anyway, I'm sure he will harass me and be like, "This dummy was the biggest motherfucker in my class."
Yep, that's how the quote goes.
But anyway, so he's like, "Yeah, we got a 3D printer now," and I'm like, "What?"
Something tells me that he probably bought that himself.
Well, you can make a 3D printer.
All right.
Like,
I doubt he made it.
this is Zava we're talking about.
I know.
I ain't gonna buy no Chinese 3D printer for $5,000. I'm gonna make that bitch myself.
Mr.
That's-
Zava's a badass.
That's my mentality on the whole.
I don't
3D.
know that there was a more badass teacher at Prince Edward than.
No, he's definitely my favorite teacher.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite. Like, Dr. Lutz was honestly probably my favorite. Like,
Well, that's because you love chemistry.
well, not even that. Just like
All right,
Dr. Lutz was sort of a fuck up academically for a while, and he sorted it out. And I'm on fire, guys. I tried to jump over some lava.
I'm waiting for the death message to
Wasn't
pop up.
a great idea. Bitch, have you seen my armor?
Yeah.
Armor.
I could go swimming.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Don't.
Do you
Don't-
guys remember when enchanting was new and it was super fucking broken, and like protection 2
30
would
pools.
grant you the ability to just just take a bath in some lava? I don't mean like a short bath. I mean like a bubble bath. You get your little ducky out. Like
I don't remember that.
there was a
Maybe
point
because I
where
never really did any enchanting at that time.
it was so
I-
it was so hard to get anything decent because the level cap was 50 and it took forever to get there.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. That was bullshit.
I mean, like, they nerfed protection. I want to say it was like... It was pretty early. I don't remember the exact...
Do you remember?
Maybe 1.1
Ow.
is when they... What?
Do you remember AFKing for hours to get the 50?
Yeah, fucking overnight? Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna leave the server up and do that, and it's like, okay, so I'll
And this
just
was
AFK.
back...
And then I get in the server, and it's like so slow because of all the mobs.
And this was back when SMP and single player were completely separate, rather than just an emulated server, like it is now.
Well, I mean, that was a relatively recent thing, wasn't it? I feel like that was like 1.4 or 1.5.
It definitely wasn't 1.5. That was the Redstone update. I want to say it was 1.3 or 1.4.
Yeah, it was relatively.
I mean, if you think, but yeah, 1.5 was.
I mean, at least 1.3 feels relatively recent. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's just
I want
my
to say
mind,
1.3 was 2 years ago.
but looking back, years feel really like short. But looking forward, they feel really
Years
long.
are really short no matter what, but yet you look forward and it's like, that's so far away. But it's
Like, I have at least another 2 years of college ahead of me, if not more.
Yeah, it's crazy how quick stuff goes. Like,
got 2.5.
and it's such a cliched thing.
Well, actually, now it's just 2. But
It's such a cliched thing to say, wow, the years are really flying by, but I mean, it's true, and it surprises you every time.
I mean, I get the psychological reasons behind it, but it's still annoying.
I remember like it was yesterday graduating from high school and thinking I was going to be in the Marine Corps.
Did you try or?
Maybe I couldn't do some pull-ups.
Is that what kept you from joining the Marine Corps? So you couldn't do any pull-ups?
I couldn't. No. I couldn't do drop hang pull-ups because my arms lock up.
Yeah, like I don't know. You've never
Hey,
met
Ben, do you mind sleeping?
but
Yeah.
Ben's not exactly built like a Marine. Like that nigga will be like setting up antennas if he joined the Marine Corps anyway.
That's what I was trying to do, pretty much anyway.
Yeah.
Not setting up antennas, but data systems.
Yeah.
Free education.
Well, reduced price
That's
education.
what I was going for, the idea. And nah.
Because Ben's in an awkward position where don't
There we go. You're good.
you know, in this area, I don't know how it is where you live, Ryan, but pretty much everyone's in sort of a position where they get financial aid, at least to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't.
Ben's just a little bit out of the range of getting financial aid of any significance. Without, like...
Hold on, a little bit? My father is a PGA pro, and my mother is a nurse practitioner, and her husband is a MD doctor, you know.
Shit.
A little stretched.
All right.
Your
I
father's
went-
a PGA player?
He didn't go on tour. Well, actually, he almost went on tour, but he decided not to because he wanted to spend. When you go on tour, you know you're spending time away from your family, and family is my dad's #1 priority. So he didn't do that.
But still, PGA? Holy shit.
He's in charge of Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
He's in charge of the golf course, the spa, the tennis courts, and several other things.
Well, you impressed me for the day. Anyways, continue.
So I went into the FASA place, and they had people for Longwood FASA, and they were like, "Hey, we can help you with your shit." And I showed them all my stuff, and they're just like, "Why are you here?"
What you should have done is like downplayed it, like my mom's a nurse. Just say a nurse.
Fill out the form.
And my father's plays golf.
Because like your parents are divorced. Be like, yeah, Dad's not really in the picture, you know.
I hear he plays golf sometimes.
Stepdad's a dick, you know. He doesn't really help.
But I mean, I don't know if they can do much. That's the thing.
See, I was actually going to claim myself as a dependent, but the problem with that is my mother is a very interesting person. So if I were to do that, it would
Your
be...
mom cuts her hair short, doesn't she? I'm just trying to like
What?
put a face. Like your mom cuts her hair short, doesn't she?
Yes,
Okay.
very short.
Sorry, I've only met your mom once. I'm just like putting a face to the.
And my mom's a very interesting person, so if I were to do that, it would be the worst financial decision ever. Even more so than the whole... Yeah,
Oh,
everything. It would be a stupid decision, to say the least.
yeah. Apparently, Pell Grants are stopping after this year.
Really?
I've heard something along those lines.
I fucking hope not.
Yeah, right.
Because that's providing not insignificant portion of my college tuition.
Like I don't know if it'll work where like new people can't get it or what the exact deal is.
Well, I know the government is planning on slashing funding for schools. I know that.
Yeah, but like I don't know how that'll work for people who are already in school.
Obama.
Oh, that was Congress.
I
Thank you
know.
very much.
I like Obama. I'm just joking around.
I
Because
really like.
I don't necessarily. The thing is, I don't necessarily agree with Obama, but at the same time, I recognize that he does not hold any semblance of scapegoat.
Well, like,
He's the person that signs the bills in. He doesn't make, well, he can make them, but
he can suggest them. He can be like, hey guys,
he can make
eh,
a.
what you
Well,
think?
executive orders, but executive orders are more complicated than laws are.
Yeah, and like executive orders, you sort of have to have sort of a like national security kind of. This
Well,
is
not necessarily.
well,
Yeah,
no, okay, not to that degree, but like it needs to be like this is urgent.
you have to have a
is-
reason. You have to have a reason. You
can't
can't just
just-
do it willy nilly.
Yeah, and
You can't just like declare yourself eternal dictator of the world. Like,
yeah,
that's not how
yeah.
that
The
shit
executive
works.
orders don't mean. I can do
And most of the time, they
whatever
only last
I want.
until the end of your presidency.
If that long.
Yeah, if even that long. They're very, very complex political machinations.
that's-
And usually if you do like if you just could you imagine what would happen if Obama pushed a bill under the guise of executive order?
What do you mean?
That like all right, so he's not going to get another term.
No,
Obviously.
can't.
I know.
Can't.
I know.
I mean, even if he could, I doubt he would at this point with the political opinion turned towards him.
Yeah.
Trying to get so much.
But either
Well, I mean,
way, it
I
would
guess I
still
said that-
be absolute political suicide. Like he, like, and if you look at him, like he's aged so much in these past
Yes.
couple of years.
I mean, he makes fun of that, but yeah.
like his presidency has not been a walk in the park. Like public opinion has been down.
He's become the scapegoat for a lot of people.
Yeah. Or like, and again, he's not all powerful.
But he's also not at fault. You know what I mean?
like
There are things that he has done wrong that I completely disagree with.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Obamacare.
By no means.
okay,
perfect.
so
Drone
Obamacare.
strikes is what is my big thing.
If it was done properly, it would have been very good.
Like
Possible.
Obamacare.
It was very
Was
much
the-
neutered.
The way that I like to word it is Obamacare was a wrong step in the right direction.
I think that's a really good way to put it, actually.
Because obviously healthcare in the United States is a problem.
Which many people fail to recognize.
Yeah.
That might be more because of political funding issues than actual,
But like Obamacare, which was universal health care insurance, is not universal health care.
It
And
is
that's
not.
the problem. Like you reach
It
around
was
your
kind of
ass to get to your elbow.
Yeah, it was kind of a half step. You know what I mean? Like it became almost an abomination.
But also the problem is like
Uh,
health insurance. What the fuck? No other country has even heard of that. That's the stupidest shit.
Of
Like health insurance.
Yeah.
Like people have heard of car insurance all across the world. Makes sense. If I fuck up my car, hey, they'll help me out. Pay a little bit, and it's a group thing. But health insurance, like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So universal health insurance is making a situation that is like taking an idiotic idea in the first place and trying to make it
Well, I
work.
mean, universal healthcare is in no way perfect.
No,
Especially if you see some of the implementations, in Canada or the UK, comes with its own set of problems.
yeah,
But however, I think the set of problems that come with universal healthcare are, I guess you could call lesser of the two evils than what comes with privatized healthcare.
Yeah, like part of the problems with privatized healthcare is just
That is
how damn big health insurance companies are. They are obscene.
insurance in general, no matter what it's for, is
Well,
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're trading in risk essentially, so you have to be a big company. The capital to start up an insurance company is insane because you have to be able to handle and mitigate those risks.
Yeah.
you're right, and it works based on the number of people. But the problem is that insurance companies, now, albeit they are a private company and they are in it for profit. I understand that. However, they make it a company policy where, like, if a claim is accepted and covered, it could risk the employment of whoever accepted it.
Yeah.
Like, that's an actual thing. Like, you're only allotted like X number of approvals per week. Otherwise,
and so you might say, you know, this guy has it really bad, but what if someone else comes along, you know, later in the week who needs it even more?
Yeah, like I don't want to get fired. I don't want to lose my employment.
It is very much profit driven, and that I think is the core of the problem.
And I'm okay with profit driven.
Well, in most things,
in
yeah.
most things.
But when it comes to
people's
humanitarian, when it comes to humanitarian efforts, profit driven, it's like, let's profit drive, you know, a charity to get water to, you know, poor people in rural Africa. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, like,
yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know, like, again, I get capitalism. I get how it's significantly more effective than...
better than many of the alternatives.
Yeah. And I mean, what also...
At the moment, I say that because you never know. Really...
I mean, unless there's some kind of major evolution. I don't think there's really any other economic policies that, like, humans have been around long enough to figure out most economic policies. I don't know if there's any, like... I mean, there might
new ideas.
There might be. I could be proven wrong. And hell, I'd be glad to be proven wrong and say, hey, let's find a system that's 10,000 times better than capitalism.
Brain tank or whatever? Thinking tank. Boom.
Think tank, yeah.
I mean, part of it's just, like... And it's just sort of the way we're wired. We're wired to... I only want to do something generally if it directly benefits me in some way or my family.
That's a survival instinct.
Yeah, that's like, I'm not going to kill a fucking deer for Jeff to eat. Fuck Jeff.
Hey, Jacob.
Not unless Jeff is returning something.
You're probably not going to like this, but I'm probably going to steal New Kid's diamonds. Because he's never really on here, and I'm not sure if he's coming back on here.
He does. He's been on recently.
And I'm going to use it for the shovel.
Why not use the iron that's cooking? There's a bunch of iron in my in the auto furnace.
Enchanted with efficiency 5 on breaking 3, and it makes life so much easier.
Fair enough.
All right. I'll replace them later. Those are actually my I went caving for those. So
well, thank you.
Speaking of which, how was caving?
Pretty good. I just found an emerald, which isn't really the point, but it's just I haven't gotten
How far are you away? Like, did you go really far, or are you
no.
close?
Okay. I've got coal ore blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and a half. 17 and a half stacks.
I would say round it off to 20 and then come back and see what you end up with, and then from there decide.
You get about 3.5 times for coal, approximately.
Well, okay, so 3.5 times. So you get about a third of a block.
Yeah.
Of coal. And we need 20 some blocks.
Yeah.
And we have, I think, between the two of us, I think we have about 9. So we need, let's call it another like 10 blocks or so that we need. Or 10 stacks of blocks, I mean, not 10 blocks.
So
if we only needed 10 blocks, that would be
So I need 30 stacks of coal ore?
I would say, yeah. I would say
Okay,
go
and
for
I'm
it.
up to 17 and a half so far. I am mining other stuff, but primarily...
Do you have a ender chest with you? So you can just drop anything extra in? Okay.
Yeah, I actually popped down
I'm not a noob, Ryan.
God damn it, Ryan, I'm not
Damn it, Ryan, I invented this shit.